Good morning or good day, depending on what time you're watching this. Um, this is a training I'm going to try to do once a month, and we are going to touch on some features that are either new in Kunversion or that we've started doing differently on the team. Things that, drip campaigns that we've changed, just some kind of different things that have been going on. So people who have been using Kunversion for a long time can make sure, if they're not going to the, for instance, one thing we're going to touch on this time is drip campaigns. If they haven't been going to the drip campaign trainings and they go to the what's new, they're going to be able to figure out what's new. I guess I don't have another way to put it. What's new? So we're going to touch on a few different things. Most of these ones are going to be about drip campaigns. If anybody has any questions, if there's some features that they haven't noticed, or they see something and they're like, hey, what's this? Feel free to either ask using chat in the training or email me if you're watching this recorded, and we'll get those questions answered. So let me share a screen. Yeah, there goes my screen. It's crazy. All right, let's jump over to Kunversion. And Kunversion, what's new without Kunversion? Log into my account. I'm going to have a couple features that might not work perfect, just because I am logged into a different Google account for training. This is where you always want to make sure when you're in Google Chrome that you are logged into the same email address and only that email address in Google that you use for Kunversion, or you can run into some errors. Okay, so one of the things that's new, we're going to drip campaigns in a moment. On landing pages, I'm not going to go into the in-depth on how to build a landing page in this training. We have that covered in landing pages training. Happy to sit down with anybody and do it, but they finally did change the backgrounds. So if you were using landing pages before, backgrounds were never backgrounds, they were bottom grounds, kind of. You had your website at the top up here, never really changed. And then they had the background image was just down here at the bottom. And they've changed that. So if you wanted Villa, now the background is legitimately a background. And it doesn't make the page really big. The only thing the old background was good for was when you were posting it onto Facebook, it would use that image. But otherwise, unless people decided to randomly scroll down, because they would register right here, unless they decide to randomly scroll down, they'd never see your background image. So they have, I say fixed it, they say changed it. Potato, it's better. So it's fixed. Now you can do custom background, or you can do a primary MLS image for background. So if you're making a landing page about a specific property, you would just go out, and you can do this anywhere. I don't need to go out to the website. I just need an MLS number. And I'm going to use this house. I don't even know why I have this house up. So I always like to copy and paste from detail, just because it's not. Oh, look at that. Now it's going to go away. All right. Oh, took me right back to it. If I take this MLS number, and I wouldn't make this page live because this is not an image I have permission to use. And I go in here and I go to primary MLS image, and I paste this in here. I don't get a vote on which picture. So if it's my listing, maybe I'm going to make the MLS picture of the pool or something, the primary, so the front of the house, so I can use better stuff here for marketing. And I hit OK, and that's all I have to do. Now I can build out my landing page, and I have this home as my background. So if you are going to go on to a listing appointment, and you're going to have, bring your phone or something so you have internet access when you're there, this might be something to, go ahead and find if their home was listed before, go ahead and create one of these pages and use the primary MLS image from last time, and just let them know that once you, as a professional agent, get a professional photographer out there, you're going to pick the best picture for the primary MLS, and you're going to build a custom website using their house. So this is kind of it's a little thing, but I think it adds a lot more to the landing pages than they have before. You can also use a custom background. They don't allow you any space to upload images on this. So it would be the URL for the custom background image. Let's close this real quick. So figure out the easiest way to do this. So if we were going to do custom pools, we're doing a landing page about pools. Now, when you're out here, if you're going to take a Google image, just be careful. I mean, these might be owned by realtors and they're going to throw a fit if you use theirs. If you go right here to search tools, you go to usage rights right here. You can always go down here and hit labeled for reuse. And granted, my options change a little bit. I still have some really nice pictures, and these are labeled to be reused. There's no, the copyright on these is the people, so commons.wikimedia.org, that most of these pictures, it looks like are residing on. They have basically used these pictures and they've come out and said, we don't care who uses them. Use our pictures. So if I can find a URL for this image, so I have it right here. Let's see if this works. I'm going to use a custom background. Oh, it did not, because it's not linking me directly to this picture. Maybe this one will. Oh, there we go. All the way to the copy this URL. This one should work. There we go. So going all the way to the image and just taking its URL, you can now use any kind of an image. So do a Google search, make your usage rights appropriate, and you can get creative and have some really cool landing pages. In this picture right here, it kind of dims it out so it's not so bright, because this was a nice, very vibrant photo. And it's kind of dimmed it out so it looks clean as a background. But this, I honestly would say I wouldn't mind having this backyard. This wouldn't be terrible at all to own. So, this would kind of catch my attention. So now if I were to save this page, let's see if it'll let me save it without doing anything else to it, because I only want it for an example. I don't want to build out a full page. And I were to go out and post this to Facebook. Again, I'm not going to make this link actually live. But what we're going to see is not giving me my image, so I'm always going to hit reload. Okay, so it's going to make that my primary image for my my posts. And I gotta say, if I'm scrolling through a group and all I'm seeing is the front of a tan stucco house over and over and over again, I've kind of trained myself as a consumer to ignore those realtor posts. And I come across this pool right here, I may stop. Doesn't say they will, but they might. I think your odds are better. So that's the new part of landing pages in the what's new in conversion. So now we're going to look at some drip campaigns. We'll close some stuff here. Okay. So we've loaded new drip campaigns. John met with Conversion and was like, yeah, your drip campaigns don't work how we want to use them. And they're like, oh, they're perfect. And what are you trying to do? And John told them, and they kind of did the, oh, wow, that's really cool. We never thought about that. Yeah, we'll fix that. That makes more sense. And what's funny is since John's conversation, I was talking to a, he's back office, but he's at another brokerage, but he's also kind of given the task to stay up on conversion, watch the conversations. And he's actually signing up for some of the trainings that Mark and John are doing in different places now to learn conversion more in depth. And him and I were having lunch the other day, and he asked me, he's like, did you see how they changed the drip campaigns? So you can now restart them, and you can have stuff go to you instead of just all going to the client. I was like, yeah, it's because John sat down with them and told them to change it. And he was like, wow. He's like, that was really cool stuff. So other brokerages are enjoying the in-depth that Mark and John study conversion and use it. And so, I mean, these tools aren't things that Mark, these changes aren't things that Mark and John just think, oh, hey, this is what we want to do. Everybody do this. It's stuff that's working. So when you go into the new drip campaigns, if you type in LUXRE, 8x8 and Sphere, I get monopopulate here, but if you just hit LUXRE and just do a search, it'll show you, you're going to get the Chandler 60s, the Mesa 60s, the Tempe. You're going to get pretty much all of them. So if you want to go through here and find different campaigns that we have used, or, let's type in luxury. All right, so this is one of the new drip campaigns. And what you're going to want to do with this drip campaign is everybody who's in your sphere should be on this, but you want to start them the first day of the month. So we're coming up. I'm going to go over this. I'm going to make sure we get this information out again right before the 1st of July. You're going to want to start them on this drip campaign the month that they get their Popeye. And the reason being is, so I already have this. What's it use this campaign? We're going to do luxury sphere training example, just so I don't confuse myself as to why I have the same screen here twice. All right, so now let's go down to 8x8. We're going to touch on those in just a second. Appointment center and sphere. Oh, okay. I'll just show you right here. That's how you're going to get in here. But here's the sphere one, and this is why you want to start it on the first day of the month. So it's going to tell you, it's going to send you a message on the first day of the month, and maybe you probably actually want to start this on it won't matter. You're going to get the message either on day 1 or day 2. If you started on July 1st, you're going to get it on July 2nd. Started on the 31st of June, you'll get it on July 1. You want it at the start of the month is all that's really important. But it's going to tell you, reminder, this is going to show you right here. This is going to email to you, not emailing the client at all. Reminder to schedule a Popeye for this client. So this is a client you need a Popeye for this month. So you don't want to put everybody on this campaign right off the bat, or you're going to be doing all of your Popeyes in one month. So when you stagger the starts, each month it's going to tell you, okay, this month you need to do a Popeye for this client. And if you notice, so if we're doing a Popeye for clients once every 90 days, if we go down here to day 95, schedule Popeye for client this month. Everything in here, it's get email to you, email to you, email to you, schedule a call for you. So you're going to follow up on the Popeye. Email to you, email to you. We're not sending stuff out to the client. This is to help you know when you need to stay in front of your sphere. So it's going to email you and tell you at the start of the month, hey, here's the, if you have a 18-person sphere, here's the 6 people that you need to do a Popeye for this month. And it's going to tell you on day 25, did you do your Popeye? It's going to give you a reminder because, a lot of times, different months based on different holidays and stuff, we might not always do our Popeyes on the 1st. So 25 days later, did you do your Popeye? Did you update the notes? Just an email to you. It's not bugging anybody else. Then the next month, you're not going to do a Popeye for them. So, send them the monthly this month's newsletter. You don't have one that you're sending out, work with Title. Title will get you something branded with your information that you can send out on a monthly basis. Then, here's that, schedule that call at day 45. Follow up on the Popeye for last month. And then it's going to ask you a couple days, 20 days later, did you send them the newsletter? And then the third month, the item of value in month 3 you're going to do is an updated RPR. We're going to get a whole training set up on Cloud CMA. I think the presentation of Cloud CMA is a little bit cleaner, and Amerifirst is willing to work with everybody on the team to get them Cloud CMA for free. It's a great tool, but it's a really nice packet. And actually, it's funny is I have one client that I haven't been doing a quarterly, and I'm going to start now that I'm using this Sphere drip campaign. But I've been sending people at about the anniversary when they bought their house. About a year later, I send them a Cloud CMA. And so I'm getting ready to send one. And what's funny is I was just talking to a client in my sphere that he bought a house 2 years ago in July. 2 or 3 years ago, July. And I was talking to him the other day, and I mentioned it. I was like, yeah, I was like, your anniversary's coming up on your house. And he's like, oh, he's like, yeah, that's right. He's like, your memory's better than mine. And I was like, yeah, I was like, I need to get it was 3 years ago. And I was like, I'll put together some new comps for you. Because we started talking about his next door neighbor's house being for sale, same model, and the price. And I said, I'm like, and he's like, yeah, he's like, I appreciate that. He's like, is that packet you sent me last year? And I said, yeah. So he remembered the packet. He's like, no, he's like, that was good information. He's like, I still have it somewhere. So not only did he remember, but he's pretty sure that he actually saved it. And I mean, that's good info. For some reason, if he, I let him out of my sphere, which honestly, even though I talked to him a fair amount, he's probably on the verge of getting kicked out of my sphere as far as Popeyes and everything go. Because lately he's a little dry. He's not sending me too much business. So I have to, make that decision of do I think, he's likely to, or, am I not really going to get any referrals from him, and it's time to remove him. So, this will be RPR Cloud, and then it's going to ask you again, did you do it? It's going to give you a reminder 20 days later. So if you were doing something on this day and you forget, 20 days later, you get a reminder, hey, let's get that out. And then just 10 days after that, it's going to schedule you for the Popeye again. So this Sphere campaign, and once you get to the very end of this, after you've been doing this for a year with the client, I don't want to go too far. All right. You're going to start getting some reminders, just again, emails to you. Review your relationship and interaction with this client. And then you're going to get the next one. It's almost time to start the drip campaign. Are they staying? Did you update the notes? Did you send thank you card? Everything. And then it's going to, at the very end of the campaign, it's going to tell you it's time to restart this client on Sphere Drip, or remove them and just put them on a client drip. So what you're going to do is so I'm going to look at it and be like, okay, it's time to restart Matt, and I'm not going to restart Matt because I don't want to mess with his, but I'll use one of my test people in here. I get to the end. Doesn't show me when it's, oh, it's weird. Hold on. Sorry. All right. So I have, at the end of it, I would be like, okay, no, this guy sent me some business or, tried to. And if somebody sent me 2 clients and they couldn't get qualified and I'm still kind of working those clients, but I didn't close anything, I'm going to keep that person in my sphere because they're attempting to send me business. I have a lady who's given out my card 6 times and none of the people have ever called me. So I gave her, I kind of talked to her the other day. I was like, just tell them, even if they're not quite ready, I'm just happy to give them information, so they can figure out, where they're at, what their buying power might be. But she'll send me a text message. Hey, I just gave your card, and she'll give me their first name, to this person. She doesn't like to give their numbers out. She doesn't want them to get sales calls, but she's staying in there. So right here, drip campaign, I would go and I would do Sphere. And I'm going to hit right here, restart drip. I have 10 left. You can do 10 a day. This isn't 10 left for this specific client. I'm going to hit restart drip. So now this client is on day 1 of my sphere. And if they weren't worth keeping in here, then I would go to one of the other ones. If that makes sense. I want to touch real quick on, let me look and see if there's any questions. Nope, no questions. Okay. And the other two new campaigns, actually, let's just go in here. I won't reload them again. That you want to make sure you have in here are called 8x8 buyer and 8x8 seller. And this is going to be the client that, when you first start working with them, if you've had a little bit of info, put them right on this 8x8. This is a combination of emails to them, and this is combination, emails to you on the and calls scheduled for you. So right off the bat, day 7, so at the end of the first week, you're going to get, mail or email, resume, and references. Week 2 of the 8x8, it's going to email them. Let's choose a realtor. Choose the best real estate professional to represent you. Gives them information about when they're picking a realtor. Week 3, it's going to email them again, and it's going to talk to them about loan programs. And week 4, it's going to schedule a call for you to follow up and see if they received the resume. So if this is a lead that's looking at a lot of house that you put on the 8x8 or something, and you don't have a phone number to call them, it's not going to make this drip not work. But you could send them an email if you needed to, and said, if they didn't respond, say thanks, I got the resume. You don't have any questions or anything. But this is another touch. This is for your week 4 to make sure we're doing the full 8x8. Week 5, it's going to email them common sense, do's and don'ts when buying or selling a home. You're going into week 6. Email to you to send them a note card based on interaction. Again, if you don't have an address for this person, this is not a step you can take, but it doesn't stop the process of being an 8x8. It just makes them kind of miss a step. And then it's going to email them again, contact information for, you can update these with your people for, just kind of resources, lenders, home inspectors, insurance people, handyman, carpet cleaning, different stuff in here. Goes into week 7, and you are going to schedule a call for you. Again, if you don't have a phone number, you might have to email. Most of the people I'm going to put on 8x8 are going to be my better leads, focusing on that top 20% that have phone numbers. And you're going to, call them and try to follow up on the stuff, see what they've got. It's going to remind you to do it. It's going to tell you why you're calling them. And then at the very end, it's going to, this is actually week 8, sorry. At the end of the 8 weeks, it's going to email you and just say, all right, we've gone through 8 weeks, set an appropriate drip. Is it a client drip? What you'll know where they really should go from there. You're going to select the new drip, and then again, you're going to hit that restart drip campaign. So there's been a lot of questions about the whys at 10. At first, I was actually complaining to Kunversion. They explained it, and it made good sense. If you went through today and you started it for the same drip campaign for 100 people, 200 people, and today it sent out 100 emails to those people. It's the same email, same subject. Next week, it does the same thing. Week 3, it does the same thing. Week 4, Google's going to flag since this runs through Google and it runs through your Gmail, Google's going to flag your account really fast as, okay, this person sends out 100 emails a week to different people with the same subject. It's an automated email that's going out. This is spam. And Google's probably going to shut your account down. So they kind of know the Google standards and what the Google regulations of how many emails you can send out with really being considered just a spam account. And they've set this accordingly. So the 10 is to protect your email account. So if you are setting, if you have a sphere of 60 people, awesome for you, and you have 20 that you need to restart each month, you're going to have to do like 10 on the first and 10 on the second. And that's also going to help you because you're not going to get an email one day of, okay, call these 20 people. Here's saying schedule 20 calls for you plus your other 10 calls that it might have scheduled. And all of a sudden now one day you have 30 calls to get done. By the end of the day, it's going to put 10 of them on one day and 10 of them on the next day. So It seems annoying, but it'll protect your email and it'll actually keep things running a whole lot smoother in general. That's kind of what's new with us in Kunversion and what's new with Kunversion. They're constantly changing stuff, so there's probably more new things that I haven't discovered or seen on there. I try to follow their Facebook page and some of their trainings to find out the new stuff as it's rolling out. They've had a couple other little changes that don't really affect, in my opinion, how we do anything or how anybody probably does anything. So I won't bore you with them. But that's kind of the what's new for June, and hope this is a informative class and kind of gives you just some brief info on the changes. We'll try to do this once a month, so everybody can stay current on what's going on, even if you have been using Kunversion for 3 years and are tired of listening to me and Mark and John talk about the same tools. You can at least make sure you're tuning in every month to find out what's changed or what processes we've changed. So that's what I've got for today. Everybody have a great day. Stay hydrated. Stay indoors. It's bad. And take care.